From there, we go to an emotional peak. Either euphoria, it's great change. Thank God they fired that boss. This is great. I can love this job now. Or despair. Anybody who's ever lost a loved one, anybody who's ever lost a pet, knows that feeling. Oh my God, the depths are horrible. But we can't stay at the depths. We're not wired that way. We do not stay at the depths for long. Eventually, we get to what I call uncertainty. Uncertainty is the third stage after the emotional peak. And uncertainty is where we usually get stuck. It's that feeling of, I don't know if I'm ever going to get used to this. I don't know if I'm ever going to get used to this second way of folding my arms. I don't know if I'm ever going to get used to this fill in the blank, whatever changes happen. And so we revert back to the emotional peak, and we revert back to disbelief, and we just go back and forth, and we dig a rut. We all know that person who's in the rut, and they block out change. And that's because that's the reactive side of change. There's also a proactive side, and it starts with the powerful step of acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean you like it. Acceptance doesn't mean you think it was a great idea. Acceptance just means we're not going back to the old way. We are not going back to getting our W-2s in the mail. We are not going back to shopping in the mall all the time. Thank you, Amazon. I'll just click it. You don't have to like it. Maybe you like malls. But that's not how we shop anymore. We are not going back. Once you accept it, you are in position to take the next step, which is action. Action is the biggie. Action is signing up for the arm folding seminar at the end of today's class. Action is talking to another professional who has gone through the arm folding change to figure out, how did you get it down so comfortable? You look so comfortable with the new way. Action is taking the steps necessary to pull the Post-it notes off the door and off the drawer. It usually involves just showing up and doing it. And once you do that enough, you get to the last stage, which is integration. Integration is when the new way is as comfortable as the old way, and you've actually forgotten the old way. And the classic example I love to point out is TV news. Everyone knows the newscast, every 6 months, 8 months, they change the music leading into the newscast. And here's the phenomenon from inside the studio. They never tell us when they're going to change the music. And the day they do, everybody sits around and says, this new music sucks. Who's the imbecile who came up with this? And within 3 weeks, nobody can hum the old music. They've reached integration. But integration only happens if there's a vision along the way to compel you to keep taking the action. I learned this the hard way. You know, in business, we have a fancy word for change. Innovation. Innovation only leads to integration if vision is the motivation and technology is the servant, not the master. It's why it has screwed us up with time management. Your life vision wasn't to be a better time manager. Here's the irony with time. We all feel like we have less of it than ever before. We all get as much of it as exists every single day. We have an abundance of time. It's just how we're spending it, how we're using it, what we decide to do with our time. That's the power of it. And until you have vision, you won't get to integration. Innovation only leads to integration if vision is the motivation and technology is the servant, not the master. I discovered this the hard way at the early stages of the big technological